Even if you've lived in Youngstown your whole life, there are those who will tell you you haven't actually experienced it until you've enjoyed a Genesee schooner here at the Golden Dawn.
Hey, nurse, one more.
We're known as Youngstown's best kept secret.
Everyone from college professors to, I guess, people we would call characters.
It's been around since 1932.
Lots of memories of meeting with friends here.
It's definitely an icon.
My dad was on a golf league here.
Got a Genesee drafter too.
Absolutely.
Everything we make is homemade.
I like the jumbo.
It's a really friendly atmosphere.
The jumbo on a Kaiser.
Good food, really good food.
It's in the family.
Yeah.
We're in the process of taking it over from my dad. My dad's name is Ralph,
okay.
yes, and my uncle was Carmen.
But the first proprietors of the Golden Dawn were John Naples' grandparents, Andrew and Mary. Mary's recipes are still used today.
The sausage is homemade, is my grandmother's recipe. We're famous for our pizzas.
One of the ways the Golden Dawn stood out in the early days was by creating a safe, friendly environment for all customers.
That was an accomplishment, because if you think about the establishment of bars after 1934, what preceded them before Prohibition? Saloon culture.
Tom Welsh is the author of the book Classic Restaurants of Youngstown, which features the Golden Dawn.
The fact that the food has been consistent, it's homemade, the fact that it's remained relatively inexpensive. Of course, you can't use plastic. The fact that you're likely to run into somebody from your past if you hang around here long enough, I think are all things that make the Golden Dawn, a local icon.
I like the friendly service that you get here, the at-home atmosphere.
And one of its most iconic images is the bartender in a shirt and tie.
The tradition of the bartenders basically come from Grandpa. Grandpa taught my dad and uncle. My dad and uncle taught us. Basically is soft-spoken, no loud noise. That's why we got a whole cross-section of people.
You'd find the guy who was an executive in the steel company and the guy who was sweeping the floors at night.
There's times when my dad and uncle would correct judges and correct attorneys, and they turn red.
The only beer we have on tap is one beer, Genesee.
Still, nothing is more associated with the restaurant than its Genesee Schooners.
We used to have Schlitz.
The Schlitz company sold out.
Went along with Genesee, and they thought it was tremendous. People loved it, the customers loved it, they raved over it, so they just kept it on tap ever since.
And it's that kind of familiarity that's kept customers coming back.
Oh, I've been coming here for probably about 4 years now.
It's been here for a while, it's got a lot of history to it. It's like a classic restaurant in the valley.
Even if they're just married.
It started off as a stomping grounds. After the church, they would come down here between the church and the reception.
Right.
And have a few cocktails and want to know if they could take pictures. And I says, yeah, that's fine. You could take pictures. We'll hang them on the wall for you too. So that's how we started a wedding wall.
But that doesn't mean there isn't room for a few updates.
We'd like to maybe expand our kitchen, catering rooms, put some catering rooms on, banquet rooms and whatnot.
The principles upon which the Golden Dawn was founded remain the principles that are in play.
We're going to be here for a while. We want people to know that.
If they wanted to get a thumbnail of the community, this was the place to come.
If there's anything we could do for you or add something to the menu.
Food that, quite frankly, you're not going to find in a lot of other parts of the country, as those of us who've lived in Columbus and have looked for a decent pizza know.
We want people to come in and just, give us a try.